Another track here is City in the Sky by Scale the Summit. Yeah, Scale the Summit's been a sort of, is it prog metal, prog rock band? I think it's more prog metal to be fair. That I've listened to for quite a while. And I think they stopped after Dreams, whatever that album was. Was it a Cosmic Crown? I can't remember. It was actually called. It's the one with the skull, the grey sort of coloured album. But that's mainly because I just haven't stayed in the know of it. But this track is from one of their old ones, old albums, and it's a very good fucking album. It's Carving Canyons. And there's so many great tracks on that. Genuinely, it's some of the most amazing sort of guitar playing you've ever heard. Like, it's not in the sense that it's like skillful. It's actually kind of simple in most areas, but it's just composed so well. It really, much like the album's name, it carves out the story. And this is one of those tracks, and it's been such an inspiring track for me because it made me realise how important it is to know your instrument and even just fall in love with it. Because you end up finding things that you like about it and maybe don't even know about it. And obviously in terms of writing as well, it's really impressive. It starts with that really cool intro riff of like pauses and starts again. It's unique, that's for certain. And yeah, and then it goes into like a bridge. It goes into a more sort of another bridge, I guess. I don't know what you actually call the sections. I still haven't figured that out. Even after making music for 5 fucking years now. I don't really care what it is though. It works either way. And then you got more after that. And the sections don't really get any more interesting after that, I will admit. It's my only complaint about the tracks. And what else happens? But after these bridges, it goes to a very interesting solo speaker, which I need to add on to my own original music. It's quite an interesting solo because it starts with the bass, and obviously the guitars are doing their own thing. It's like a tapping bit, which I've learned on guitar. It's actually pretty easy and it's pretty fun as well. The only difficult bit, I suppose, is there is a triplet bit where it's sort of a variation of the main riff, and it also inspired my original track called Fly. You can essentially hear the same thing in that, but I designed it, composed it around being a bit more sort of melodic and varied, and that's how I came up with it essentially. But yeah, you do hear the similarities, and it is very much a song inspired by this, really. It's probably one of my best songs I've ever written, to be fair. And then I added my own bits to it, obviously, got the bridge section and the chorusy bits. Yeah, it's a track, and as is this one. But I just love how it sort of makes you feel like you're in a sea in the sky, hence the name. And I think I get a lot of flack for saying that, asking like how the fuck did they achieve this, because it actually sounds very sort of ethereal. It reminds me of the section in Gorillaz Feel Good Inc. where you got the acoustics, and if you hear that, it's like, oh my god, it's fucking amazing. I've also made a cover of that, by the way. That was all way. It's probably one of my best covers as well. It's definitely in my top 10. Yeah, there's so many fascinating parts to it. And City in the Sky is just, it's incredible for that reason. It made me realise how important it is to know your instrument, as I said. Like the bass solo, the drums are also pretty decent. Even though I'm not a drummer, I do like how the drums are done here. It does feel melodic in a drummer way, weirdly enough. Even though I technically don't know what that is, but I can feel it. And that's what drums are supposed to do. supposed to help carry along the rhythm. That's it. What else is there? Oh, yeah, the guitar solo down. Yeah, the guitar solo is really good. Just has some really interesting and unexpected parts in it. It follows this key changing bit as well, along with the rhythm. It just works. It's good. And then it ends with the, I'd call it like a Steve Vai sort of inspired part. I don't know if that's maybe the correct guitarist person thingy. But it does remind me of Steve Vai for some reason. I'm not sure if that's because of his unique style or what. But yeah, it ends with that. The sort of lead guitar. And that's pretty much the track. It's incredible. I think if you haven't heard Skeleton Summit before, you might like it. I think if you're a fan of Polyphia as well, I think you'll definitely like Skeleton Summit, even though it's not as modern as Polyphia. If you're a guitar person, then yeah, you'll probably find something to like with Skeleton Summit. There are heavier tracks as well, that's one thing I haven't noticed before. Even more like kind of crazier tracks, like Blue Sun is kind of nuts. It's not my favourite song, but it's still kind of crazy. And Giants as well is one of my favourites. And it's just so many tracks, it's hard to name them. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. So, yeah. Well, I didn't expect the first topic to be such a fucking downer, but as sort of most critical as it is, sort of unicorn shit. Because it literally is. But I'm talking about, of course, the drop phone, and I got to talk about why I wouldn't even support that to begin with, even with the right ideas. Like, again, it being some sort of, oh, this is made here rather than there, sort of thing. But I'll explain why I don't exactly support that idea. So, obviously, as most critical has said anyway, to reiterate, it is literally unicorn shit, because how do you even make something that's made in the US just fully made there, when these components come from another place specifically because they can only be made there, either for like transport reasons or just labour reasons as well. So there are a lot of questions around that, and I think anyone who believes this was a good thing probably, I don't know, you're probably gullible, but at the same time I don't blame you as well. It's weird, because I saw that part of me that's like, okay, I would be on board with this as well. But because it's from Trump, I wouldn't. So that's immediately a no-go for me. It's a bit like if McDonald's made a phone. I still wouldn't support that shit. Not even fucking close. I hate even the mention of it. Yeah, that's what the gist of this is. Yeah, it's like they're making a product that seems very desirable because it has a market, has a niche that I think everyone can be on board with. And to have a product that has less air miles, less, well, I'd say at least air miles and emissions maybe, will be so desirable because that's literally what people want. They literally want more environmentally friendly things and even things that just don't use slave labour. But the problem with something like the Trump phone, as I'll get into anyway, it's just patriotism as marketing, essentially. Because it isn't about the product being made in the US. It's about the product just being made for US people, supposedly. There's also not really any information on whether it will have surveillance or anything, which I no doubt think it will. Because why the fuck else would they make this? But it was seemingly in such high demand anyway that people were thinking, you know what, we need to actually get this and try it out. Wait, was that what I meant to say? So blanked out again. It's been happening a lot. I think it's because of stress, that's probably why. Again, it is literally unicorn shit. there's no way this is real. No, it just can't be. But then I have to wonder as well, this is nothing that just came to my mind. Is it used by ICE detainees? I mean, not used, made by ICE detainees, because that breaches every single ethical code that could have been done right with it, essentially. And that's not a good thing. Yeah, it's very concerning. I could just imagine it, because that's very much what happens today. It's not impossible for that sort of thing to happen. It literally does happen daily. It even happens in just US's own workplaces. So again, this sort of thing is just, it happens and it can't be ignored. I want to talk about if it was, for example, site made in the UK. Obviously, like, as it was previously advertised anyway, smartphone, it could be in the UK situation, proudly made in the UK. You know, it's still got an issue because, well, I'm not sure I believe it, for starters. That's the first thing that comes to mind. And the second thing is, how well would they execute it? Like, how well would it be as a phone? And also, what is it related to politics? Like, is it the Nigel phone, or is it the Keir Starmer phone, whatever? It really depends. I wouldn't want to fucking support that. If it had any political name associated with it, fuck off. Even if it was something made by the Chinese government, I wouldn't support it even then. Because when it comes to political figures, I do not want anything to do with them. Even to an extent, it's like if even the party I support, like the Green Party made one, I still have questions about it, because I don't really want them deciding what product I should and shouldn't use or purchase, really. I don't want them influencing that decision. There's a reason there's a market to begin with, so that people can freely choose what they want, or what they need for that matter as well. Okay, so they do need it. And technically we do need phones, that's a strange thing. It's mainly why we can't get away from the whole Chinese made stuff. Everything being Chinese made. Yeah, like, that's really the gist of it, I think. I couldn't support anything like that. You know, it's just again too good to be true, and then ethical questions, dilemmas, or not. Yeah, I don't really know what else there is to add, but I would prefer phones that are just made locally. That goes without saying. It's just, how do you achieve that exactly? Because as much as I want to support that, I'm yet to see it actually be done. And it's kind of difficult to see happening today, especially in this day and age with the cost of living. And then the price as well. How do I forget price? It's going to be stupidly fucking expensive, of course, because it's entirely made, you know, in-house, for lack of a correct term. And that causes issues. Also, the tank did a good fucking tanking barrier thing for that armor. Yeah, again, I just see so many issues around this. It seems almost utterly impossible. And even then, I want to support the next best product, but if the next best product has the worst things about it, then it's gonna influence my decision. I don't really care about a lack of a camera, or I do want a camera, to be clear, but I don't want one that's like super fancy. It's hard to support because of other issues, like the Fairphone, for example, which would be my phone of choice were it better, but at the moment it's not, because it has an issue where it just doesn't seem to work. Like the Fairphone 6 I heard has call issues, which I cannot stand, because I already struggle with making calls and even talking in them as well. So it just doesn't make sense to actually get something like a Fairphone in this day and age. It's too costly and it's too problematic. So there's no fucking way I'm going to go through with that. Even though it is a good product from the outset, and like, obviously right to repair. But again, that's this is such a huge compromise to have these technical issues. It's such a fundamental thing to get right as well, and you fucked it up somehow. This is sort of based on people's experiences for sure, so I can't even be too certain that this is true. But it is still concerning, and it does make me not want to address it. And they haven't even issued a statement on it because, I don't know, they can't be bothered. As much as they have this transparency thing, I saw a video about how they designed it. They don't really address anything like that. They don't say, oh, we heard you, we got this bug in our phone that makes calls impossible, we're going to fix that. And they haven't done anything like that. As far as I know, people are still having this issue. And then every time I go onto the subreddit, it's like, oh, well, there's a new issue every fucking day. I don't know what it is. It could be software, it could be anything. I can handle software bugs every now and then, but I can't handle, for example, if I can't play a fucking game. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't really want to put myself in that situation. That's why we get to where we are now. I'm even debating this. It's like, how big of a compromise do you want? And my biggest compromise would be, I guess, low quality hardware and a camera. Other than that, everything else is pretty trivial. Obviously, the phone calls have to work as well. It's pretty fundamental, as I said. But we shouldn't be debating fundamentals in a fucking phone. That's the first thing you have to get right with a phone, essentially. So I don't understand how they even went wrong with that. That's why I'm so pissed off about it as well. I was genuinely thinking of getting one. No, they've completely squandered it, and so as a result on my fucking wish list, as I write these things down just to make sure I'm getting it right, I've literally got like 4 other phones that I'm looking out for. And mainly these have big storage, but that's another thing entirely. I plan on putting music and games on there, so it does need a somewhat decent storage size. But it's not even big games though, that's the thing. It's mainly the music that takes up the space. You know, if I want to sync the music from my computer, which is like, last time I checked it was about, I think 48 gigabytes in the entire fucking system. Because I don't like cloud music, I think it's stupid. Cloud music is very fucking dodgy because of the nature of it. Just seems to fuck over people because it's always online, and then you never get access to it offline. So if you're out and about and you listen to, say, Spotify, how the fuck are you going to listen to it? You can't. That's what it does to you. It locks you into this fucking stupid system, so you can't actually listen to music. So yeah, that's why I have MP3 versions of every fucking song I've ever heard, and why I go to great lengths to even get it to begin with. Like, Jesus Christ, the amount I've spent on things to actually get there, to get proper physical versions of the music, is actually insane. But there's a reason why. As I said, I'm justified in it, and the fact I can't even purchase it most of the time is even more dumb. Again, it's like, you'll own nothing and be happy. I fucking hate that. My voice is getting weird, it's getting ticklish for some reason. So I better move on. That's pretty much it, so yeah. Let's go. Oh, it's been 6 years and I am still waiting. For people who are not aware, there's still like big problems with just how the world sort of tackles this topic, but it's no doubt an unpopular topic because people don't like to admit they're wrong. And even as someone who's a non-vegan, I find this completely fucking stupid. So I stopped consuming animal products 6 years ago now. I'm doing fine. There's only like health issues that have stemmed as a result of mental health issues, physical health issues, I mean, that stem from mental health, but not from food, which is good. And I've never had my vitamins be flagged except for iron. I think iron was the only one, and maybe vitamin D, but you know, those two really depends. And I think I have an iron sort of deficiency disorder, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not exactly easy for me to get iron anyway, even if I were to get it from sources like animal products. But yeah, where it's quite interesting for me is I've not seen a single fucking argument that has convinced me or even other people about turning back to consuming animal products. And this isn't even like stemming from a case of environmentalism or health, where arguably it is inarguable. In fact, to be avoiding those with those in mind, these aspects is far more important, almost as important as the ethical aspect, but the ethical aspect is also the most important part, because that's where I'm struggling to find any sort of reason to believe people on this. I've not found a single fucking excuse. And it sucks because, you know, in the way the world works, you need to have solutions and you need to have these things addressed so that people can more accurately decide things and have stronger information. But where it fails, obviously, is people don't do the research, they don't think on these things. And I was thinking about this before, I'm pretty sure I brought it up already, but I'll repeat it anyway. It reminds me of when I used to watch debates between random vegans and non-vegans. It's so weird, but I remember these quite vividly because they were just bad. It was often the case where the non-vegans weren't presenting a good position at all. As someone who's unbiased, and again not vegan, you know, I'd actually be able to say like what's right or wrong about this, and yeah, these people have not done the most bare minimum research on this, and so you can expect that, you know, it's not a good argument that they're presenting. They've never presented one that's good, and you know, it comes with its struggles, I suppose, but it shouldn't be that difficult. I'll be honest. You know, there's no way that these arguments can be that difficult if you're absolutely certain about these things. But it seems like people don't actually know their own arguments, and that's been a common trend in those debates. And I'm pretty sure it still is if I were to go back to it today. Or even just like a new one, obviously. Essentially, that's where I'm at now. 6 years of avoiding animal products, and yet people haven't proven yet why there's a good reason to. So again, still like null and void. There's still nothing. Which is just crazy, because I would have thought by now, with all the information we had, and even something like AI, which, you know, is not good, and I wouldn't trust an AI generated answer anyway, just based on what we know about AI, its terribleness for the world. It's still crazy to me that there's no answer yet. There's still nothing. Like zilch. Zero. I think I've only ever heard one valid argument in my time of avoiding animal products that says that, oh yeah, maybe these people should eat animal products, but that's like a very niche thing. It's like people with an eating disorder, people who are like AFRID, for example, or ARFID. I keep calling it AFRID, it's ARFID, for short, food avoidant disorder. Yeah, it's just different scenarios, and it's very niche, but these are some things that also can be tackled in the future without having to use animals, essentially. Weirdly enough, we got the crowd of people who are just anti-lab grown and anti-processed. I'm just wondering, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why do you think people are making this? Like, it's just so dumb, there's no critical thinking. And I'm just left questioning people actually care about animals or not, because it just doesn't seem like they do with this sort of element in mind, this factor. Anyway, I think I better move on, because I'm kind of busy here, but yeah, it's a frustrating scenario as I mentioned, but I'll move on. Just what the fuck is the world coming to, exactly? Something I've realised with, well, the recent arrest thing that happened in the UK, it seems. A young activist was arrested for planning a non-violent protest. Immediately, it's just, there's so many alarm bells ringing there. Something is definitely wrong, and having had a encounter with the police only half a year ago, just a bit more, I think. I could tell you that the police are definitely corrupt. It does seem like there is something really off about them, because the stories I've been told, which I mean I need to hear the other side, and also do research as well, it seems like there is just blatant corruption. And yeah, people are just worse off because of it. And then this sort of leads into the topic which I'm going to talk about, which is why the fuck you should never forgive, like, for example, police who do this, or forgive politicians who endorse this behaviour. And that's simply because it takes away freedom and democracy, as well as just creates a worse world for everyone else. The more we let people get away with this, the more they get away with. That's how it works now. And you can see this blatantly with a situation like in America, where obviously Trump, who is obviously a child predator, is for some reason able to not only run for president but stay in presidency despite that. And then there's blatant corruption, everyone on the side who doesn't necessarily get their name in the press or anything like that, or in the public eye for that matter. They're as guilty as he is. So they're also child predators. That's no fucking exaggeration. That's literally the reality. The people defending Trump to keep him in power, to allow this to happen, they're as guilty as he is. And it's the same here in the UK, where people have defended certain politicians, like other MPs defending other MPs essentially. Even people in political positions. I remember that was like Peter Mendelsohn, was it? I can't remember what his position was actually, but I remember he was in the Epstein files. Yeah, that didn't work out well, did it? That's what I mean. They only get away with this because you let them. And this is why people need to demonstrate that we literally have the power. It's stupid to actually not demonstrate this, because it is dangerous. Yeah, the world is almost completely fucked because of this very behaviour that people are enabling, the public are enabling, because they're not doing anything to change it. They're not interacting with the, I don't know what you call them, like the nuisance cases here, the nuisance people, the nuisance authorities, whatever you call them. And the fact that we're having these arrests of innocent people for planning non-violent protests and meetings is just absolutely absurd, and to even do that to young people as well, that's the fucking crazy thing. And there's even elderly people who've been arrested for protesting. Like, it's just so fucking corrupt. And it's not necessarily that I'm saying there is a get out of jail free card. By all means, there are evil fucking people out there. There are plenty of kids who deserve to fucking rot in prison, I'll say that. If people may not agree with that. But that's because people don't see children as fucking evil when they can actually be inherently evil. A lot of people realise that, but they literally can. There's some really famous stories out there with children who've just been corrupted from a young age. It's like the one with taking a toddler to the train tracks and fucking tying him to the train tracks and killing him. And apparently one of them's living a happy life now, which I don't know if it's really deserved, to be fair. It's hard to say. Apparently rehabilitated, but the other is not nice, and yeah. So, that sucks. But that is the reality we're in. There should be no free passes for this sort of behaviour. It is just inherently corrupt. And it's the same with police. As far as I know, like the police situation here, with what I know about the story, it seemed like a case of theft. Not anyone to do with us, just to be clear. But it seemed like the police were actually the thieves. And it just seemed very off. I was really uncomfortable with the fucking shit they were doing here. And it's inherently evil, is what I say. We need to hold people accountable. Well, I don't know the legality of it, but in a hypothetical situation, or the ideal situation rather, it'd be a case of, okay, demonstrate your innocence to your neighbours. Neighbours come and remove the police. That's it. And yeah, it might sound stupid, but the reality is we're stronger than them in numbers. You've seen the fucking Tommy Robinson protests, haven't you? They don't fucking stand a chance. But literally, if people as dumb as that can overwhelm the police, then everyone else can. Simple. Obvious solution there. That's why you turn it against them. So, yeah. There's essentially reason to fight back in this hypothetical situation. But it's just absurd to me that people don't realise that. And the same with something like ICE in America, I've already said it. Again, you need to fight back so shit doesn't cause any more problems. It's already caused enough trouble as it is. Yeah, people are ignoring it. And I don't know why, but sure. If you ignore it though, it's just going to cause more problems. I don't really know what to add, but that's essentially what's happening. Yeah, it sucks, but I hope that helps. That's all I can think of at the moment. Shit shouldn't be allowed, that's that. Anyway, I better move on. Got stuff to do. So, I'm in Hydatos in FFXIV Eureka, as you know, I'm doing that Relic grind. And this step is somewhat simple, but the problem is it's slow. I've been here for just over, how much? 60 minutes, 2 hours? What the fuck? I've only made, given there were a lot of pot fakes anyway, 72 crystals out of a required 350, I believe. I'm gonna look at it again. It's like 50 and then 300, yeah. And there's also boss drops, but you get more of them, I think, over time by my calculation, than you would crystals, which is weird. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this as well, and I think in terms of a grind, it's better because of the logograms and because of Wisdom of the Plate Bearer that does improve, like the Pyrus crystal grind and even this one, because you can now DPS with, tank rather with DPS, which is insane. I do love that element, it's pretty fun. But I've got to admit, the fact that it drops so few of these items is a big fucking turn off. It just makes me almost not want to finish it in a way. I have rated every step up until this point. I'll try and look at it in a sec. I'm just doing this Fate boss. Who's this Joker? King's Jester. Oh, here's a Joker. So why are we playing him there? What's a Donor Strike? Ayo? What the fuck? Okay, where is it? Here we go, Final Fantasy. So yeah, I've rated each one, and Stage 4. Okay, let's go from stage 1. Let's explain. Stage 1 was somewhat decent because it was fast, it was rewarding as well. You could see it happening essentially, and you always got enough to get to the get the boss materials even to buy them out. Although here you can't, but that's to be expected, I think. Anyway, so I rated it at 8 out of 10. Admittedly, the initial grind, getting there to the point of grinding that, is hard enough. But when you're there, you're in, essentially. And with the Eureka tracker as well, and also just having groups as well to farm it, also like the elemental XP buff and generation, it makes it so much easier. As to be said, it does make it easier. Although you do need to grind your XP and do your challenge logs. I don't need to do mine anymore, so I can take it off the hotbar. Why is it not taking me off the hotbar? Fuck off. That's weird. You're not just hotbar during combat, okay. Didn't know that was a thing. This is a bug. Don't know why I can't. Oh, I know. I think this is doing what? Layout being over there? No? Okay, so it's a bug. Never seen that before. Or maybe it's because I'm in the instance. Or this, maybe. Oh, it's because of that, yeah. Duh. Yeah, so Animus was a decent grind. I would say it's more doable than others in the game, but it's not perfect, in my opinion. I still think it has issues. Again, the initial leveling process. Okay, guy just leaves. But then we get on to Pecos. I almost forgot the name there. Which I rated, if I haven't said Animus, 8 out of 10. Pecos is 5 out of 10. It's a slog to the point of grinding, but the Pecos crystal drops are abysmal, as well as Louis drops. They're not very frequent. I think you only get 2 Louis, 2 drops per Louis, if I'm not mistaken. And I just bought the rest in the end, because it's not fun to do, and it's just frustrating. Yeah, that was the thing. So it ended up being an issue in itself. What else is there? No, in terms of the map as well, don't comment on the map, but the map was atrocious on Pecos. It was hard to navigate, it had too many caves and vertical areas where you can instantly die as well if you're in combat. It was doable, but it wasn't fun. That had to be said. And given that a lot of the grinding and stuff, you needed to be in a good party to do it, to do a lot of the stuff that's high level. It just didn't seem optimal. Even though you had 15 fates or so, it still wasn't great. But at least the drops were good at the higher levels, like 40 per 50. 50s were rather. And also it's like fucking weather and time specific, which was frustrating. So I gave it 5 out of 10. Stage 3, Pyros. It's a big slog to get through. Much like the last one, but it's a bit more annoying. I will say it's easier in a way because of the fact that you have the logo system, and the logo system, as I just mentioned, is OP as fuck. Literally all you have to do is go DPS, Wisdom on the Plate Bearer, Protect L, and you're invincible. You can pull any mob you want, and you won't fucking die. It's actually insane. I honestly don't know how they don't use this in Baldesian or Arsenal, but maybe I'll see, because I'm going to do that at some point. But yeah, it's OP. It honestly is stupidly fun as well. The fact that DPS can just pull all that, like you see a red mage or a summoner just pulling all this crap, and it's like, oh my god, this is fucking nuts. And I better actually unbox some logos here. How do I do it? Drexler. Yeah, the map I prefer. I think is a much better in a way, but also it's a bit too cramped. That's my only issue. It's just a more simplistic map, I suppose. It didn't seem too bad in my opinion. I could be wrong, but it did seem decent enough. Yeah, I better craft another one of these. It's actually crazy how cheap that is. It doesn't even take much to get. I just wish you could sort of upgrade them, and also I could get rid of Bloodbath. Even though it seems like a bad idea. And this one as well. Fuck it. So yeah, I might as well get a raise. A raise? Yeah, pay me. I don't know what else to do. I don't really know what each one does. This is a problem with the logo system. I hate it. You can't craft things very easily, and it's just hard to know what does what. Increasing damage taken. Wow. Okay, that's actually kind of OP. If I ever get to using that, but I don't think I will. It's not worth it compared to this. So yeah, crystal drops are not very generous. There's like, I think 30 max from the final boss, which is Penny. Penny Farm is kind of funny, but also annoying as well. It took us about 100 kills last night to fucking spawn it. It seemed impossible, and then someone went AFK and got kicked because of fucking inactivity. Because it was so boring to grind. I do like those 2 heat waves. That's one thing that I like about that grind, the fate spawns. But yeah, in terms of relic weapon, it's easy enough to get, I think. Because I was doing it for 3 weapons, and this is probably what most people do anyway. They get all the weapons they want done. But because I do more, it does impact my rating to an extent. So you could say that Animos is like a 10 out of 10 grind, and maybe Pagos is about 6 or 7. Fuck, said it. Rip. I'm a goner. And maybe stage 3 is about 5 out of 10 at most. I won't put it any higher, I don't think. Then we get to stage 4, and my god, I don't like this anyway. I've not even done yet, and I just don't like it. I've only done about, like, how many fates? About 8 so far, I think. Maybe 7, 8, 7. That's a new one. But yeah, about 8, 7, and I'm not that happy with it. At least they don't spawn by weather. The only one I hate so far is the King Goldenmark, as you just saw. King Goldenmark and Sucker Fat one. Because it's nighttime spawns. Just annoying to do, because there's not really many wraiths that spawn. I didn't even realise that. I thought, why are they saying in the chat that we need to get this other fate done quickly? It's one that spawned down here. And that's why. Literally when I got here, when I found the wraiths, there was only about 4. So that didn't help. Like, great, thanks. That sucks. So yeah, crystal drops not good. The boss drops are fine. I think the boss drops are enough there. You can easily get the required amount, I think, in no time. And I might as well do some lockpicks whilst I'm here as well. Speaking of which, the lockpicks are actually better in Pagos and Pyrus. So how good are they here in Hydatos? Let's see. For some reason my action button is working. It's the same stuff. What the fuck? It's just the same stuff. It's even dropping Pagos stuff. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? I wish this would drop some of the logograms, the rare ones. I think that'd be great. That'd be a good way to improve this and make it more worthwhile to unbox. Okay, nothing there. Except for this simple tree house. Let's go on the market board. I'll sell that for Gil. Yeah, again, it's got problems. And again, I'm not even all the way through it. But look at the guide, the steps in it. You need 50 to upgrade first weapon, 100 to upgrade the next stage, 100 more to upgrade the next stage, and another 100 plus the scales to get the final stage. And apparently you can upgrade it more, but it doesn't do anything to appearance, so I'm not interested in that. You need Eureka fragments, which are obtained from Baldesian Arsenal, which I'll keep just in case, you never know. I might like Baldesian Arsenal enough to be a fanboy of it, but I don't know. But speaking of which, okay, I'll read this first. Stage 4, so far, like, this is bad. By the 2-hour point in Pyros, I already had the second stage done, so I'd rate this a 3 out of 10. Honestly, it's just bad. And it incentivizes, again, bad gameplay and bad sportsmanship as well. Because if you look at like the groups here, for example, I don't know, are these guys, they're all level 50, so what are they doing fates of a higher level? Oh, anyway. But yeah, it seems like the problem here is it just doesn't drop enough, it's not fast enough. And that's the main issue. It's a very simple grind, but it is a grind. And that's where I take issue, and every fate is fucking valuable. Like, I need to go to the toilet, for example, and yet I'm incentivized not to because of this shit, where for some stupid reason it's grindy as hell. Like, there's the next one to spawn from the tracker, it's like right down here, so I'm not even far away. But I'm just so disappointed in how this has been executed, because they could have done so much different, but they didn't. So, yeah, like, what the fuck do you expect me to do? It's ridiculous, and then I've got this timer to contend with. I may not even get into the instance again. Doesn't seem close, there's one new player here, but it's just not optimal. There's so many bad things about how Eureka has been executed over this time, which is what gave me the fucking, what made me give it the small rating. Of course I'm not happy with it. I don't think I'll ever be happy, and this is a Tiger Walk, okay. Well, it's time to pull you and try and die. Let's do the first pull. So yeah, as I said, 3 out of 10. So, the ratings as follows. Can you aggro please? There's a lot there. Might have to do half and half. I even need to go defensive. Okay, let's just do this. So, let's start with calculating. So let's start with a reasonably high number, 8 out of 10, plus 4, 12, no, plus 5, isn't it? Hang on, that's almost dead. Poisoned. Potion as well. I can't concentrate on 2 things at once. Yeah, I might need to just solo each one. This is ridiculous. I'll have a quick. So it's 5 out of 10, yeah, okay. That one, so it's a 13, then it's a 4, then it's a 3. So 13 plus 4, 17, and plus 3 makes it something. I'm actually almost dead, which is crazy. I'm just going to need to run at this point. So that's about 20 out of 10, is that? I could have done all safe. 20 out of 10? I think so. Let me do it again. So yeah, that's a 20 out of 10. Just kind of nuts. I'm not gonna lie. But it does seem like the grind isn't very good in general. So 20 out of 40, it's about 50-50. I think some might like to grind, some might not. And again, this is based on me doing 3 weapons at once. And in the span of 2 weeks, mind you. So this might be fast for some. I've got these 2, and then I've got a samurai weapon somewhere else. Was it the mage? The mage weapon? Yeah, there it is. But that's the gist of it, I think. 20 out of 50 is not good, because that actually averages to 5 out of 10 anyway, as an overall rating. And I've got other ratings here to just mention, like what I sort of go by. A Realm Reborn gets a 0 out of 10 because it's not possible. It's very RNG dependent. And why do I keep missing? There's no problem with this game. I don't know why it keeps making me miss. But again, it's like messing up my combos. What the fuck am I supposed to do? That's absurd. Yeah, so I remember 0 out of 10. I got to the 3rd stage, I believe, or the one with the log and the fates. And I just gave up because it's not worth it. Like, what the fuck is the deal with that? It genuinely doesn't make any sense. Like how it's executed. So I didn't like it. Heaven's Ward, 7 out of 10. It's tedious but doable, and you do need to do some sort of locked stuff, but you can farm poetics for most of the things anyway, so it's actually doable in that sense, which I don't mind. I prefer it a bit over this because at least you can do it in one day as compared to this, which takes, as I've demonstrated, weeks. So I just yeah, I'm moving my computer around. That's a bit weird. Yeah, so not a strong rating either. But then we got Shadowbringers, which I haven't done yet, so no rating. Endwalker, which is interesting. Endwalker gets a 9 out of 10, because I think the only thing missing really is some sort of like gimmick, and I think even though I don't mind that, I still prefer it as a grind because you can do it passively, and some of the weapons are decent. They're not all good in my opinion. The weapons themselves are not always great, but it's there. It's good anyway. Even the final stage, even though it's a bit stupid with how sort of duplicated or copied. I'll show you what you call it actually. They seem very samey, that's what I'm trying to say. And that's the only problem with that. But the grind itself is fine. It's just 6,000 poetics, I believe. Hang on. Yeah, it's like 500 each, so 6,000 per weapon, which you can get easily by leveling in duty roulette. Or even just doing duty roulette or something like this, which sort of leads into it because you get poetics from face as well. So it does help. And then finally we've got Dawn Trail, which, because it's endgame content, it does change my opinion, but it's actually the same rating. Believe it or not, this is about the same awfulness of a grind as Eureka, in my opinion. And that's because it seems to do a lot of the things that Eureka does. You've got the initial stages, which are grindy as fuck, which immediately impact it in a negative way. And then you've got to do like duty roulettes and stuff, which I don't know if I like either. Even though I did it for leveling and it works there, I like how you can do it passively. It's still not great because you're not even earning for the weapon itself in the run there. So, what the fuck happened here? Why did I just pull those? So can I target please? Eczema, so I can't concentrate. Yeah, it's just very strange. I don't really understand that, but then the stages get... The second stage is better, I think, if I remember it correctly. But then third stage took a really bad turn, as we all know. It became the leveling roulette grind. I did over 100 of those, and yeah, that was kind of hellish. But then you have to earn it all through the endgame currency, which at the moment is mathematics. It used to be heliometry, but now it's mathematics for some reason. Don't know why they changed it. It's a bit stupid in my opinion. But yeah, we're there with that, so that sucks. I'm not playing Warrior Bound on purpose, just to be clear. I'm just distracted. Some Spinal Tap, what? The band that sucks, I don't know. Yeah, what else is there to even say or mention? I don't even think also what these players do. Oh, they're all gone. Maybe this just is closed. Yeah, again, it's just like frustration upon frustration. I might as well do low levels here. So Dawn Trail gets a very worthy 5 out of 10. It's doable. As I said, that increases the rating every time because it's not RNG bullshit. And it can be passively done if you do the endgame content anyway. It's just not great. I just wish it was better. I could do a lot better if I were in charge of this game, obviously. Just make it more enjoyable, make it less frustrating as well. And also I just want to tie things to fucking Record Crescent. I can fuck right off. Even though you don't have to do it in Record Crescent, it's still not great. Because it just sort of encourages it, especially with the drop rates of the demi-atma. So yeah, it's not good. So that's the ratings so far. We'll see what Shadowbringers has. I don't know what it falls yet, so I don't even know if I'm wasting like poetics or anything at the moment. So I've no idea. Yeah, also I'm not playing something bad. It's just a fucking missing system. I don't know why this even exists. Like, what am I even missing? There's nothing here that reduces accuracy. And nothing ever missed in the fucking other instances, so what gives? Yeah, that's my thoughts though on Hydatos. As I said, it's got issues, and Eureka itself has got issues. Baldesian Arsenal though. I plan on trying it. I've applied. There's a newbie run tomorrow, so I'm going to try that out, get the right logos as well. Assuming I can. I don't know if it's possible yet, because I don't like the advanced logo system. It seems a bit dumb to me, and I'm not even sure if I can do it right either, because it's sometimes too expensive. Like, I don't even have the guild for some of these logos anyway, and even then, it's possible that I could just get a technical issue, and I'm worried about that all the fucking time. It could happen at the worst time possible as well. I just wouldn't even realise. But I'm not really nervous about it in a sense. It just seems like more of the same. It doesn't seem like there's really a difficulty curve in my opinion. I've looked at a run of it as well and it didn't look like there was many things going on. It just seemed like your average alliance rate to me. It didn't seem difficult from the outset. Anyway, I think I better move on. I've got stuff to do and fuck, I got to edit my fucking funny moments video. Damn it. I might go for filming this. It's taking way too long. Yeah, in fact, farming's still a problem here, as you can see. I might just leave the instance and come back. It's not the best option, unless it spawns. Yeah. Anyway, I'll move on, so let's do that. My usual topic of choice, but it's a frustrating one. It has to be said at this point, because I don't know if anything else is going to change as a result. Yeah. So over the past month or so now, it's probably been, I'll say like 3 weeks at least. I've been struggling with some of the worst flare-ups of my life, and I think this stems from stressful situations from before. It's pretty obvious to figure that out. The problem is it doesn't seem to have a cooldown. So what I'm going through seems to be almost like a permanent change, and is not comforting at all. And even despite contacting the relevant people to help me with this, it doesn't seem to be any closer to being resolved in terms of if it is actually, for example, Crohn's disease, or if it is something else. And the fact my inflammation levels were quite low on the stool test, so there's no way to get around the detail of that. It seems to make sense that something isn't right here, and given the amount of illnesses I've had in the last few weeks as well, it doesn't help. So it's hard to say what even is the problem, and it's frustrating because I'm not going to recover anytime soon because there are more stressful situations coming on as the day goes by. One of the most recent ones, which I have to be honest and public about, is going to be about this house because it's causing problems with me again. Because something like today and even the past week or so, that has problems in itself. Like somehow, almost directly after the flare-ups, you've got an idiot housemate constantly going in and out of a place in the house where essentially you just need to sit down and fucking relax, but he just doesn't, and it causes like pain for everyone else because we can't put up with that, and I don't think anybody does. It's such a frustrating situation as well, and given that I've reported it already to the relevant people and nothing has been done about it, it's not helping things in the slightest. Then we had a scenario, what's it, not a few hours ago, it was actually like early afternoon, where for some stupid fucking reason we had a bunch of people knocking on doors around here asking for their mail. There's not a bunch of people, there's like 2 people, but they knocked on a fucking door that isn't even, it hasn't even got a letterbox on it. Like, they're asking for mail, and they knocked on the door without a letterbox on it. Am I missing something? Or is that just incredibly fucking stupid? It's obvious that they can't read either. That's weird. Because apparently it's delivered to a specific number. That's what I heard anyway. So it's just kind of frustrating me. It's like I'm literally surrounded by not just people in the house who just can't comprehend anything, but it's people in the neighbourhood as well. I hate to say it, but it does seem to be the case. Because this isn't the only occasion where something stupid has happened, there's other things as well. You've got cases of people parking on the fucking sidewalk, which is tiny enough that I don't know if people can even drive on that with like a wheelchair. Even like a pushchair, even like, fuck, imagine those people. You've got cases where people have stupidly loud engines and they keep it running, and also, as was the situation over a year ago, which caused me to start wearing headphones at night. I hear a humming noise, and I don't know where it comes from, I don't know what it is. There is no answer, and that frustrates me almost as much as the fact that it happens. And yeah, it's just a multitude of issues that keep piling on top of each other. And then the other scenario is I've replaced the soundproofing on the door to try and get it to work better, and guess what? It doesn't work. Soundproofing doesn't fucking do a thing. It's not keeping out noise like it should, and a normal door, as I've had it in the past, blocks out a decent amount of noise. But this isn't a normal door, it seems. It seems to be some idiot who thought, oh yeah, this is the way it needs. Even though I specifically said I need a door that blocks out sound, they gave me one that keeps sound coming in, rather than stopping it from coming in. So again, they got that just absolutely brain dead issue with no solution, because I don't know what to do at this point. And everything I've tried so far just hasn't been effective, and you got idiots even just downstairs just fucking opening and closing cupboards as loudly as they can. I tried to put stoppers on them and that doesn't work. There's a microwave that sounds like a fucking engine when it goes off. Even the door is like stupidly loud. I don't understand why people design things like that. And then another thing that I'd almost forgotten, but it does happen, like a door slamming situation. I don't know what happened a few minutes ago, but for some reason it's happening every few minutes. There's like, hear the door slamming across the room, and for some reason it's like a slumping sound. I don't know what the fuck has happened, but I don't care. It's just frustrating. And yeah, this is a situation I've been placed in by force, seemingly. And again, nothing is done about it. And this doesn't help my story. The thing I was going to go into actually is to do with what is it? I think I can't remember what it was now. I think with my sort of bowel issues, it's frustrating. So over the past few weeks, I've been having flare-ups, and these come in the range of, weirdly enough, it had sort of symptoms of hemorrhoids or fissures, actually, anal fissure. When I first started, and I got constipation, I got hard stool as well, because this seems to be a problem that's caused by it. It's mucus as well, hence inflammation, flare-ups. And what else? I can't tell I fart for shots because I keep farting frequently as well. Farting gas, well, it doesn't help because I can't tell the two apart. Sometimes I end up with a bit of a mess. I don't know how to address that exactly, and it's worse when I'm out in public. But then I get physical discomfort and I feel like my body is just attacking me constantly. And I don't even know what the problem is here. I still can't figure it out. It doesn't seem to be an obvious indication here of what it is. Could be even causing it to begin with. Again, I'm just stuck here. It seems extremely frustrating and defeating as well. Because I really just want to get this shit over and done with. I want it to be gone. Just fed up with it. Some reason YouTube is recommending me dying fish. What the fuck is wrong with you? Fucking cunts. That's weird how they allow not suitable for life content, right? It's not even in the educational sense. I don't know what to add. Yeah, these flare-ups are causing many problems. It's also causing multiple visits a day because I can't tell, again, what is and isn't a fucking flat shit or what. It's hard to say. And I end up gambling with that and decide sometimes I don't go to the toilet and I hear noise in my stomach and something goes on down there, I don't know what it is. And other times I do go and nothing comes out. Instead it just feels like I've exploded and I don't know what that's an indication of, and because of the medication I can't even tell if it's an infection. Because the medication is supposed to stop infections, so yeah. Just fucking absurd. Just absolute nonsense at this point. And I've said before as well to the people relevant to this, I don't think the medication is doing anything. Because it doesn't feel like it. I'm still going 3 times in the morning as a standard, but now I'm going in the evening. And there's no trigger for it. There's nothing I can pinpoint other than stress. But even then, the stress thing doesn't make sense because it only happens weeks later, which I don't think that's normal. That doesn't seem right. So, whatever that is, I don't know. Yeah, that's an update on the situation now. Really don't know what to add. Guess I could add that to my stress list, that conservatory thing. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. It's just, I don't know what to do. Literally stuck. And that's the other thing, I feel my body failing. I remember I've gone to the toilet sometimes and I get so exhausted even just squeezing a crap out. Because yeah, it's constipated as well. I start to get chest issues, like heart problem almost. I don't know if that's stress or what, it's hard to pinpoint, as I said. It doesn't feel right. It feels like I'm in a lot of pain and discomfort constantly. Anyway, I better move on. Well, this is an interesting topic before. I don't know, do I do the good one or do I do the bad one first? I'll do the bad one, I think. Final Fantasy XIV Eureka. I realised last night that this is probably the area that I've had the most, not only bug reports I've made, also suggestions. And these are some false bug reports, I'll admit, but I don't think they're all false. Because I do genuinely believe that some of them are real problems. And even if it isn't a bug, why isn't it fixed? That's my question. Because Final Fantasy's down for maintenance at the moment, so I can't obviously show this, but Eureka had so many issues. Like the Animus Crystals thing, I think the only thing I realised was enemies do a ton of damage, and there wasn't any real explanation for it, so I assumed it was like a bug, because I shouldn't be taking that much damage. Essentially I was only able to do one enemy at a time, as anyone. Didn't matter who I played, even tank was kind of squishy. But the other issue with that is, as I moved on, going to Pagos, I thought, okay, I need this much crystals according to the guide. Oh, crystals not dropping from mobs now. What gives? Turns out they don't drop from mobs, they drop from fakes. So, yeah, I thought that was a bug, because that didn't seem normal, the amount of crystals that you need, especially. And it turns out it's actually fake, so immediately I made that bug suggestion to fix it. To basically increase the drop rate of it, not drop rate, but you know, the size. So it's more accessible. Simple solution. Excuse me, I had an elemental disruption in my bowels again. But I don't know what I was talking about before this. It's a Hydatos. I think I complained about the navigation on the map, and also how hard it was to read as well. Because you struggled to know where everything was, and that caused issues, obviously. So that was an issue, and like the Louis stuff as well. Louis was kind of annoying to spawn and farm, and it ended up becoming a case where I just used the crystals to actually buy his materials. It's no surprise, because it was too long between spawns. So that was a thing. And then what else? I think that was it for Hydatos, but then Pyros. I think I made a suggestion that the logograms were a bit confusing. It was literally a new thing and I didn't understand what the fuck it was. So it just became a mystery to me. No idea. And then next thing I knew was that the Pyros crystals weren't dropping very much from fates. And despite the amount you needed, which was about, I believe, 650 or something, I can't remember how much it actually was. You needed a sizable amount of it. It wasn't nearly enough, but luckily there was enough fates to do it. So fate spawning wasn't an issue, and in fact doing the lower level ones was actually fine for the most part. I just wish that the rewards were more even out. So like, you get 30 for doing Penny and you get 10 for doing the lowest one for some reason, which isn't enough. I think it should be about 20. It should be even out like 15 maybe. That might be a better option, better compromise. So yeah, I complained about that, and then come Hydatos, I was struggling with this last night. Nothing was spawning. It was a new instance and nothing was spawning, so I'm assuming either the tracker doesn't work here or they just fucked up the numbers. They can't read when there's only one player in the server, because I literally was the only player. So it sucks. And the drops as well are so far and few. Like, I made about 92 of them last night alone in the span of 5 hours. That's ridiculous. So it's going to require me to get the total 350, I believe it was, Hydatos crystals. And I'll need to check again. I might sneeze, so I apologise if I do. Fucking hell. I don't apologise really. And then it's gone. Yeah, 350. And you get 10 from the boss one, so you need to do that 35 times to get one weapon. Yeah, and given that the lowest drop you can get is about 5 Hydatos crystals, you need to do that 70 times to get the fucking amount you need for one weapon. You see the problem? You need to do these fates on fucking repeat constantly, and there's only 10 fates. Like, I don't know if I'm correct in this. Like, let me look it up. FFXIV Hydatos crystals fast. Let's see. Will that code bless me or blast me? Fastest way to get Hydatos crystals. Someone else can gather up a party, spawn whatever NMs available in the instance using a tracker. If there's no tracker, you're likely to waste time. Yeah, true. It's as obvious as it seems that NMs take a while to spawn. If I'm lucky, I get only a few times. That's not helpful. As far as I know, there's no such thing as instance hopping because you get players from other data centers, and it doesn't seem to be data center specific from what I can tell. Because you get from other worlds as well. You get players from other worlds. But I've seen others from different data centers, like literally last night when there was a Baldesian Arsenal impromptu run. Literally saw. Also, it's actually kind of cool. That's kind of a practice. Wow. But no, I saw players from like Louis Spar on there and Spriggan as well, which are Chaos Data Center players. So it obviously doesn't impact anything. So I don't know if that's maybe because they've combined them, or maybe it is data center specific and they just visited. It's hard to figure out. They don't actually explain this in game. You never actually know if that's what's happening. So again, you're left in the fucking dark about these things. Again, like no obvious thing here. Just seems like a joke a lot of the time. Like, these things to the developers are like funny. I don't really understand why. Because we put time and money into this game, and what do we get? A grind that's so mind-numbingly boring. But obviously the fix for me is just making it more accessible, so maybe every 10 mobs you get a crystal. Problem solved. That makes it much easier. It makes it more doable and more group content. Simple. I fixed your game. Like, I don't fucking get it. It's obvious that they don't play the game, because this won't be an issue. Why are they playing it? I've seen this constantly throughout other games. There are so many problems with these games, and the lack of testing is quite obvious when you know it. And it's obvious from this alone that they didn't test it. Because the developers have all the tools at their hands, they're not testing it as a player, they're testing it as, well, a developer. So literally all they need to do is like kill a few mobs, okay, it's fake spawn, like we must be job done here. But even though they have privileges like spawning it quicker, so they're already cheating in terms of getting ahead of everyone and figuring out the game's mechanics, if they work, no matter. So yeah, it's shitty. It has to be said, and that's what happens all the time here. I've seen it in other areas too. It really varies, but still, it's just so fucking annoying. I wouldn't make half these decisions, and yet here we are. I would have just made it so that one Eureka weapon means that you can buy them all with poetics. At a later point. Simple solution. Like, again, I've given you the fucking solution. And if you choose not to listen, it's your problem. You're turning players off of the game, so not my issue in the end. That's why players are struggling to play it, and that's why it probably even exists anyway. it's because of player retention. They don't feel like they're being treated generously. So yeah, obviously people are gonna fucking jump ship from that. Oh, that'd be ridiculous. It's literally the only reason why at this point. People have responsibilities as well. You must remember this. Not everyone's going to have every day to fucking farm fate spawns. Like, what is the actual amount you can get from like doing the fate spawns in Hydatos anyway? So I don't know. It doesn't say what the amount is from whatever it's called. The Eureka tracker. I'm gonna guess it's like every 2 levels it increases. So 10 math. It's not coming to me. 22? Yeah, 10, 22. And then, damn, this is hard. I'm too early in the morning for this. So we do 36. It's plus 16, yeah, so 52. Hang on, 52. I don't fucking know, but it's like it averages out about 90, I think, in terms of the amount of crystals you get for all fates. Like, I'm not talking about one, I'm talking about all fates in the instance. So even then, server hopping isn't efficient in that place because you still have to travel, and even then you're risking a lot because when a fate respawns in your one, another could be going on in the other server, and it's like, yeah, what's that noise? A weird noise there. But you know, a big one could be spawning, and you know, you've lost it. Like, excellent. Fucking great. Great game design. Not. Anyway, I better move on, but just wanted to mention this. So I just completed the Baldesian Arsenal and, well, Eureka. And that's pretty much like the final thing to do because Relic Weapon's really a passive grind. It's not really much to talk about. I've already talked about it anyway. The Baldesian Arsenal was interesting because it was very impromptu, even though it's a beginner run. It was hosted by Eiko Online, so shout out to Eiko Akira. Yeah, very good leading this. Like everything said, pretty much landed, which is good because I have learning difficulties and typically it takes me a while to learn some mechanics, but every mechanic was familiar, I will say that. So that made it easier on me a bit, which is good. Because I was panicking a lot about this, and when I first heard about it before, like when I asked on the Final Fantasy Reddit, 14 Reddit, everything, I was trying to figure out how to essentially complete it. Also, I've got my fragments there. The hell are they for? Yeah. So there was a bit of panic about getting into it, and given that I've already done the relic grind for the most part to essentially get it get it underway, there was already sort of a wait, I was talking about, I got fucking blanked out again. I don't know, but there was already like panic setting in before I even got here. And after doing it, I could say there isn't much to panic about at all. In fact, I did a lot of things wrong, but in the raid itself, I only messed up one mechanic and almost messed up a few. I might have accidentally pulled an ad, but I don't think that was my fault. It's like a panic thing, like force of habit. It's like it's like an enemy walking towards me, I better attack. Not really thinking far ahead in that. But I'll start from the beginning. The preparation thing was frustrating because you needed a bunch of different things that either did or did not exist, and that has its issues. You need like offensive logograms and yeah, just offensive logograms and a bunch of other ones as well to prepare for it. I don't know use E4, that was weird. so there was that sort of issue there, trying to figure that out, and finding the recipes as well was a pain in the ass, but luckily Eureka Tracker has it. And I pretty much did a paint screenshot of everything for the prep, and the Discord, the Eureka Academy, which is where we ran this. It's very helpful. It has all the guides you need, like the BA guides section. There's like BA preparation, which I used for that, I believe. Is it? No. You don't need to read it all, I don't think. There's a lot of over information, and I think the only things to pay attention to is probably newbie run, unlocking BA, which is really important because you won't be able to do it otherwise. What else? Need to know logos actions to an extent. But you don't need it this advanced, and I did melee setup for beginners. And it's recommended you bring Solo Spirit of the Remembered and either Skirmisher, Wisdom of Skirmisher, or Wisdom of Duelist alongside that. And crafting these is a pain in the arse because unless you have multiple Spirits of the Remembered already there, you're going to have trouble crafting all of them. But I managed it with only, well, these two here, which I didn't get to use, and the one that I did use. So there was some interesting shit with that, which is interesting. Skip. Yeah, I'll skip the cutscenes here. I'm not really interested. What's this about then? Yeah. Really making the most of Hydra's 0, okay. Okay, my old defensive setup, but yeah, like you need a bunch of things here, and I wish it saved the recipes, like there's a fucking thing there. It's a bit stupid that this system doesn't have the recipes laid out, so you can like preset them. Say I want to craft, I don't know, for some reason I remember this one, but you know, this is for, I believe, Spirit of the Remembered, was it Skirmisher? It's either Spirit of the Remembered or Skirmisher. And yeah, Spirit of the Remembered requires something like Play Bearer, either Martialist, and you know, you craft that into that, but this success rate thing is a fucking pain. I wish there was a way to mitigate it. So yeah, that could be improved. I didn't like this system. This is in the prep stage, bear in mind. Anyway, other things to pay attention to. Boss guides, you've got all the mechanics listed there, which is really helpful. If you can memorise them all, it's good. But in our run, we had about, I think, 30 odd players, and it's recommended to have 20. And we just speedran through it. We didn't see most of the mechanics because we were just so fast at DPSing it down that it didn't really do anything. It's just interesting. And yeah, and one of the things that I find fascinating about this is like everyone plans it out so well. I don't know how they plan this, but before you sign up, I did last day rather, and yeah, I got that in the box. Also, I need to make my thingies there. I should go ahead, protect and faint. I don't want to go with damage. There's no skirmisher. Sticky wink. Still have my paint open. Yeah, no, that's EPUS. Fuck. Still have my logo stuff and says Skirmisher Duelist. Yeah, I did craft Duelist originally, so I don't know why that's not showing. There we go. Let's put it back in. Yeah, backstep, bloodbath, double edge. Okay, let's do that. So yeah, what am I talking about? I bet it's gonna fail. So yeah, like they plan out everything. There's like groups where it are private as passwords as well, given specifically so beginners can get in, and that really helps. It's genuinely really good. But one of the things I do find a bit weird is that I don't know, like, is it? I guess it's to do with how it's organised, because I was a bit unsure seeing I had a group of 6. I thought, well, hang on, don't I need more? I swear I would have needed more. So it did seem a bit weird to me, to be honest. I should have the duelist, didn't realise, so yeah, it's just the highest one. Yeah, what else is, I'm gonna get the ferry. That's done that. The thing over here, because we had a really good fucking... Eco was really good at shouting out things. It had the fate over here, which also gives crystals, believe it or not. So you can do them even if you're not doing the thing. But then we had to go to here to get a ferry, and then people who had to run for had to wait. Had to get first to me, and then run to their portal, because we had a portal as like a map for each group. I was in Major 2, so my group was around here. I had the portal here, if you can see. And yeah, it's a bit complicated, and I didn't really know when to go into that. But apparently we had to wait for the portals to go red, which was interesting. I'm not exactly sure the reason, but I think it's sort of the stabiliser thing, which you get from up here. And then didn't buy, obviously, because we're not supposed to buy that. We're warned about that as well, not to use that, which is good. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? Yeah, better look. Yeah. Yeah, so we got the portals down, essentially went in, because I was a bit unsure about it at first. You need, like, there's 8 portals per group, so there's a ton. It's interesting. This isn't the thing I'm talking about. I don't know, do I want to do the bunny fate? Yeah, don't feel I want to. I just don't know what the fates have been popped here. Yeah, this is another thing. Anyway, back to the Baldesian. So we enter this place, we get assigned to left or right. There's also a crafters thing for the logograms, and that's helpful. So where did play? Oh, we can only have one at a time. Fuck, I'm an idiot. Fuck's sake. Okay, it was DPS one. Fuck it until I die. I keep forgetting that. Yeah. So you go in. Obviously, you have your prep, and there's something about that. There is a fate tracker from the group 4. Zombie is dead. Oh, this is confusing. I'm going to do mocks quick. Yeah, we go in, sign to groups, we get ready checks and stuff. Obviously, it's all very well done. And I got the left side A1. So that was interesting. It went down very quickly. There wasn't really much to explain. We got separated in Discord as well, which is interesting. What else is there? Also, it's night, so that's the other thing. I can't really think. Also, it's probably a bit unusual for someone to be just having done BA and being here. Actually, I need to get the mount out. I want to check it out. Yeah. As you can see. Do the graphs. Yeah, so did the first boss and then we're on to the second boss, I believe there was, if I'm not mistaken. And that had some interesting mechanics too. They weren't, again, mostly scenes, but they were there, which is interesting for sure. So I might die here. That's a bath. Yeah, also needs to major alter. There's a nice macro there actually. Eiko said that at the start. I didn't even know it was a thing because nobody even said it. Like I'm doing plate bearer. It's too dangerous. Yeah, I didn't even know that's a thing. That surprised me. So I use that now. Why not? Might become annoying in a sense. I need to turn it off if I end up having to face a non-enemy here. So I just got the mount from the chest. rats, I guess. I don't really farm those, it's not my thing. It's always getting distracted. Yeah, basically, the raid is cool. You do like this hallway, and you can see it here, I believe. No, for some reason you can't. But there's like an instance in here, somewhere. And you do see it basically going through the hallway, you pick up ads. There's also specific roles as well for people who've done it before, like trappers and as soon as you've got so many different fucking roles, which is interesting. And then we had a healer die at the stairs. I'm not sure how exactly. I'm a bit confused about how that happened because it seemed impossible given how good our group is, and there's a fucking enemy that didn't want. Yeah, it's very interesting that. And there was like a sacrifice chain. I don't know what it was. Never seen it before. It's the first time seeing that. So it's a bit confusing, to be honest. It's a bit strange. And then what was that after? We go into this room area. We didn't go into every room because it's like the first one. Just pull out specific enemies from them, and then we go forward and into the boss room. I think it was. I think it's the boss room. I'm trying to remember my steps in this. It's quite confusing, but obviously the host knows it's better than I do. And eventually we go back and then retrace our way to the other hallway, and it's been replaced. It's been updated with ads. I accidentally pulled an ad somewhere. It wasn't on purpose though. I literally just fucking what is it? What's that term? Instinct. I'm just gonna call it instinct. It's not the right term, but something like that. So it's not far off there even. That was interesting. But for sure the bosses had some interesting mechanics, like the waymarks and stuff all there. It's like dodge this spawn with a big AoE in the front. Running around the arena, you have to check for the direction. I see a lot of things that I've already seen before, and weirdly enough, because I think I struggled on Stormblood dungeons when I was first trying this, playing this rather, this game for the first time, and it was like Stormblood and Shadowbringers I really struggled on, and weirdly enough, it seemed way more simple than that. I don't know how, but it might have been the DPS thing. It just seems a bit simpler than there because my PC fucking shitting itself. I thought I'd been over this already. Rip. Yeah. But after when we get to the hallway rather, we're separated into rooms, which is interesting. And they have a portal each, and if you interact with them, they give a few ads. You kill the ads, you leave the room, you go to the end of it, the place, and then you get to the essentially second to last boss, I think, and then you have to get stacks of shell L and essentially be ready with that for the boss. And we had a break as well before that, like a 5-minute break. I don't know why I didn't take the opportunity to stand, I might as well do that now. Stretch out. Which is handy. Gives you time to take a break because it's good, because I was a bit worried about that. I didn't. Wait, when did I drink more water? Must have been during the break. Yeah, it just gives you time to stretch out or something. One of our healers DC'd, also ran out of magia, great. That's why the auto thing is a bit annoying. Defensive. Off, there we go. Just have to tap it a few times. Yeah, it's interesting though. Sure, oh fuck this up, haven't I? I'm not going to be able to do this in time. Unless, no. Yeah, we had a healer DC before that, apparently an emergency, so another group, luckily. Well, not luckily really. But it didn't really impact the raids, to be fair, which is good, because I'm a bit worried about the power scaling and things. I'm worried that they may be a bit overtuned, and if you go on thoughts, it's daytime. Yeah, the boss was okay. There wasn't really much to look out for. The people who dodged the puddles on the second one. The first one was like a tutorial thing, which is cool. I like that. But the second one was obvious, and it just... Yeah, you had to stand between the one that was the opposite, was it? Yeah, the opposite, I think. Like light to dark, and there's a split the room one, which is interesting mechanic. And then there was these orb things, which luckily I didn't get because I was panicking a bit about that. But for some reason, someone blew it up in the middle of us, and I got a damage down debuff and almost died. Yeah, that sort of reveals the first problem with this raid. The first big problem, in my opinion. Griefing. And apparently there was a chat in the BA chat on Discord before this, and I saw that they would bring up how there are griefers with like the portals and stuff. Apparently. I'm not sure how true it is or how relevant it is, but it does worry me. Again, this is a thing with group content. You get all sorts of fucking jokers in these types of game modes. You get people who are really sour about things and then they just ruin it for you. I've seen this in hunt trades. And it really fucking sucks. And I wish there was a way to ban them, but I don't know. I don't know what the solution is there. Let's get sucked here. What else is there? So yeah, after that boss, it's on to Ozma, and a few rounds I think actually. It gets to Ozma anyway, at some point or another. And yeah, Ozma was interesting. I won't say it's like the best thing for fought because there's a lot of mechanics. But it is well explained by, again, Eiko. Shout out to Eiko. And we managed it. I didn't have any deaths. I got one hit by something, but it wasn't my fault, I don't think. I think it was just a call out that was a bit too late, maybe. I can't remember what it was. I got like a debuff. I didn't get any other meteors for some reason, which is interesting. I did almost fuck up on the cube one, where they're targeting the tank. Almost got hit by that. But that was it. There wasn't really anything that went wrong. It actually went really well. I was nervous as fuck, and the callouts actually were on point. And yeah, we managed it, hence getting them out. Rewards. I got the thermal orchestration roll 2 thingies for these Crohn gear. And yeah, the fragments, the Eureka fragments to upgrade the weapon. I'm not really going to do that. But that's about it. And then also you get the achievement if you haven't done it before. And yeah, that's a raid. It's interesting it takes place in here. It took us just over an hour. It doesn't really take long, and especially when there's so much going on as well. It's not really mechanic heavy, so it's kind of something where you can sort of turn your brain off. It's really simple when you actually run it. And there isn't much to memorise, and to be clear, I didn't even memorise much myself. So it really isn't an issue if you can't memorise it. It has to be said. Just make sure you got the right logos and you listen to the callouts, and you're in the Discord obviously, and you're good. You've got nothing to really pay attention to other than that, which is good. Although it would help if you could obviously do things your way or yourself rather, to be able to get through it a bit more easy and less reliance on someone else. We had one death in the Ozma, I think. Our tank went down. I'm not sure what happened there. But someone did a sack thing again. Again, I'm not sure what that is, never seen it. And managed in the end, we did it. Yeah, not really much else. It's basically the Ozma fight, but a few more extra mechanics and the star shape as well, which we did get to see. Because I had a feeling we might not get to see it, but we did. So that's interesting. It's mainly like a stacking thing, which I quite liked. It's definitely different. Yeah. Baldesian Arsenal completed. as I said before, like, it could have been something that I liked, but I don't know. If I'm being honest, I don't know if I will run it again, because unless it drops something really special, I don't really see myself doing it. It's weird, because I want to like it, but at the same time it just feels like another Alliance raid, just with more punishing mechanics, and the thing even warns you here, when you pick up on the Scholar, it warns you that it's very punishing, and I'm thinking, okay, so is this like Savage Alliance raid or something like that? And it wasn't anything like that. And so I'm just wondering, what sort of design are they putting here, given that these areas are already difficult enough? Like, what the fuck? What gives? Trying to figure out what actually is the reasoning for a lot of this. Like, why is things this way? That English, very good. Yeah, I can't figure that shit out, because it really didn't seem that difficult with the right host, obviously. Echo was great. But mechanically, it didn't seem like anything too complicated, so it's kind of like, yeah, okay, it's just like another Alliance raid, it's just like a really punishing one in that sense. That was the other thing, you can't resin that. I almost forgot to mention that, and that's the most important thing. That's why you need to run the other logos actions there, like the Spirit of the Remembered, which is the most important one, and a Wisdom to basically buff yourself, because you've got a little roll assigned Wisdoms, I think. Tanks have their own, DPS have their own. Yeah, it's all sorts of weird and interesting. It's not for everyone. As a raiding experience, and as a raider even in like World of Warcraft and just doing all the duty relax here, it isn't really much different. Yeah, it's just more of the same, and I don't mind that. It's really a niche thing, and I think you can enjoy it, because they do other runs. This was a newbie run, hence why I'm in that. But it does seem like it has a niche and an appeal for that matter, and the barrier to entry isn't really that hard. But it's kind of interesting when you can get different roles. Again, the trappers finding traps were quite interesting. The dispel thing, the sack thing, which I've never seen before. Because you also can't res with normal abilities, hence why your Spirit of the Remembered. There's some weird fucking sack chains as well, because someone kept getting doomed. I don't know how they even got that. Like, you get doomed for some reason or another. There's like no obvious explanation for that. So it's like very weird in that sense. God, I really need this thing to spawn because I need my crystals. What else? I think that's about it. And you get to the end, you have to pick up the chest. I forgot about that. The chests are very important because they give you the fragments, and at the end you need that end one. Again, I got turmoil from that, so it's worth picking up everything you can. And yeah, so oh yeah, the pull time on the last one. There's long pull times because players using double edge can do insane amounts of damage. I think, if I'm not mistaken. There's one in our party doing that, like stacking it before the fight. Go up to like 15 stacks, taking damage over time. It's a 60-second pull timer. There's so many different ways to play, it seems, and that's, I think, is also the appeal. Of course, you need to get the logo grabs before you do it, and that does cause issues, but at the same time, it doesn't surprise me. You know, this game is quite poorly designed in areas. The logo grounds definitely one of them. The fact you can't buy them outright, it's a bit stupid, or even get them from lockboxes. Yeah, and then when it ends, you go to your thing. Where is it? The place where you go with Crohn, library where you have to activate it as well. You finish the quest line, and that's about it. There isn't really much else. You get your achievement if you're hunting for that. It's great. I had that on my list for months to get, because I'd never touched Eureka, I was a bit unsure, and then one day I decided, you know what, I'm going to try out the Relic weapons and see what it's like. And it ended up with me getting here within 2 weeks of starting it, which might be fast to some, I don't know. My tactic for farming is one level above the one you're at, and it's very quick if you do it properly. I did it mainly on Paladin because it's too risky without the logograms. But when you have logograms, you can literally pull as many as you fucking want and DPS as many as you want to. Well, within reason. Just need the Plate Bearer, Wisdom, and Protect L. Those two are great for that. They do really help. Yeah, that's about it, I think. That's Baldesian Arsenal. It's interesting. So yeah. Yeah, let's move on. Excuse me whilst I AFK farm this, it's Eureka again. I want to talk about something different. It sort of came along as a topic from a stream I'm watching by Games Done Quick, and they're currently raising money for the National Women's Law Centre, which is, from what I know about it, seems like a great cause. And I'd expect a lot of bigotry in the chat just from the people who are just actual snowflakes. Like literal snowflakes, the one who say that others are snowflakes. But I'm actually using the correct term here. And yet, there is none of that, which is just so bizarre to me. Because I kind of half expect it at this point. I expect it whenever I encounter anything that is progressive, and it doesn't always happen, but when it does, I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. And then this weird scenario in today's stream, day 4 I believe it was. I'm not going to name names, and the comment is deleted anyway, so you won't see it, but there was a streamer called out, specifically, supposedly a streamer, as a host I think actually, in the chat section, and basically saying that this host was a stalker and had been banned from multiple streams apparently, which I find bizarre, but it brings up an important topic as well, because let's say this is true. Why the fuck are we having these people on here? It's genuinely concerning if that is the case. I don't care how progressive you are. There are problems with having these types of people on here. It sort of enables them to do these things, which is a thing I've realised over time ended up being true. You just don't want that because it fucks up the entire internet landscape and even just society in some places. So you don't really want this. And yet people still insist on having controversial figures there anyway. It reminds me of the Dr. Disrespect stuff that happened with Highguard. How he claimed that he was invited to an event, and given his past about apparently grooming children, or supposedly children, but apparently it's a teenager, sort of wants to differentiate them at this point. But he's a complete arsehole either way, and he's lying about this, and then people give him the attention he wants. Again, what the fuck are you doing? That people have told everyone about these trolls, and he's a troll. So I don't know why people even gave the attention to begin with. It's like he's searching for that clout, and then people gave him that clout. Like, good job. You've kept a predator in the spotlight, much like T and much like other cunts. So it just doesn't help. And yeah, with regards to like this situation as well, one thing I have to mention is why the fuck are people even going into this culture of call out, essentially call out culture? it's something that I just don't understand because people are either really uneducated on it or just are searching for drama. They're searching for a way to get drama, and it's like I'm saying addiction, but it's a problem. It does affect people's lives and even society, as I said. It sort of reminds me of even like a real life conversation with someone where you'll have a topic that you're talking about and you mention, oh, said person, celebrity, whoever it is, don't know why the fuck we even care about celebrities anymore, is a child predator, like great. And then I just wonder like what the next thing is gonna be that they're gonna bring up. And it turns out it's about another fucking child predator. It's just why do you even focus on this? It's kinda dumb. You don't need to call out all this shit. It's wrong. And when we call out specific people, aren't we giving them the attention they want? Just the thing that comes to mind when I realise this topic. Just seems very dangerous and often makes me wonder what side people are on. It's fucking creepy as well when people do this much caring about a very trivial thing. Kind of like the last topic I brought up about celebrity news and just how shit that is. But there's one thing worse than the other. Also, I want the thing that's less worse. But Jesus Christ, it should go without saying, but people who focus on the drama aspects are problematic. I'm not sure what it will take to exactly change that. Because I used to be sort of addicted to drama stories myself, and admittedly, I do wake up every morning and look for the next most critical video. That's pretty normal. I'm not subscribed because I don't really, weirdly enough, don't really like him as a channel. I think a lot of his content can be just very questionable, and again, it's like that call-out culture, which I don't really like. But he does reviews as well, so I like that. But when it's a call-out thing that's not even that big of a deal, it's kind of like, yeah, great, and also just rage baits people as well. It's just another thing I don't like about it. So that is another problem. But yeah, I don't know why people surround themselves with the whole call-out culture thing. Trying to find problems with people that they for some reason have issues with or just don't like. I don't really understand that. There have been people that I liked who turned out to be real weirdos or creeps. And obviously the internet culture around calling them out has changed my perception on that. As it does. It does change your view on those people. There's even channels I unsubscribe to personally because of these issues. Because of the things that they previously did. I do not agree with. It's like ex-Guild class members, well, it's technically only one I was sort of willing to stick around to watch, but then I started to realise, okay, maybe this is a little wrong given what he did. And I just distanced myself from that. And yeah, I guess I need to bring up that as well. Something that Lewis used to bring up a lot, which is about separating the art from the artist. And that's a tough thing because I was thinking about this earlier. But what if there was a scenario where one of the nicest people on earth ends up getting into like massive trouble for something, I don't know, murder, abuse, something like that. And even though they've done great things for the world, it doesn't excuse the actions, but at the same time, is there even room for redemption or anything? It just makes me wonder, how can they change, how can they prove themselves? It's something that ran through my head genuinely because I'm curious. Or what is the solution here, exactly? Because I don't really know if there is one, or if it's easy enough to do. You kind of want to root for these sort of people anyway, even though they've done bad things, because if they're doing good things in their life, they're very demonstrably good. And we need to be focusing on that, ideally. Again, not to ignore the problem that has occurred. I think it's just the fact that we need to start looking at ways to incentivize people to keep doing good things, so that they can avoid the bad. And I think that's a difficult task, which is why I bring this up, as why it's a point of conversation. And I don't have any easy answer for this, sadly. There's something that I've thought about. So, yeah, I don't know what else to add there. Pretty much covered everything, I think. And more. Yeah, so let's move on. Right, so award for the dumbest comment I've seen today goes towards whoever this was on a social media post. Yeah, it's an interesting response. It's basically someone highlighting the issues around how certain political parties in the UK are actually in bed with billionaires, and is by association. And obviously, the association part is proven, given that there is proof of this. It's literally in picture. And someone literally commented, well, if I take a picture of a giraffe, then by all logic I must be a giraffe. Like, what the fuck are you even on about? That's not even anything relevant to this. And then I looked it up, guilt by association, what does it actually mean? Because I wanted to make sure. And it came up with the association fallacy, which essentially explains what this person was saying. Well, if it is a person, I don't really believe most people know, but that's another story. And what ended up coming to mind in the end was essentially it's only like an association fallacy if it's not exactly provable. And I can't prove that this person is a giraffe, for example, for being with a giraffe. So that is a hard thing to prove. I think it always will be. But when it comes to billionaires, there is provable evidence that someone like Nigel Farage is literally, well, associating with them. So there is essentially no argument here. It's essentially a non sequitur, is that what it is? If I'm not mistaken. So you're trying to disprove a point by using a fallacy, or calling out a fallacy rather, and it just doesn't work. Again, because of that aforementioned problem, we already have evidence that this person is with a fucking billionaire class. And yes, it is a billionaire class, because there isn't anything else you could fucking call it. The 1%. That's what some call it as well. My fucking god. Like, it's just ridiculous. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why it's such a big issue. And we can't really get anywhere safely or correctly if we just start doing this. Oh, let's debunk the thing we're supporting. Like, oh, suddenly, I don't know, Nigel Farage, let's use a hypothetical here, it's not real, just to be clear. Let's say he's taking pictures with underage girls, and it's in the Epstein files. Like, oh, are we not supposed to associate now? Does this mean that his association with Epstein is not real? Like, it's just a fucking dumb fallacy. And again, when there's like provable evidence, it becomes a very different story entirely. And that's where it really matters, I think. And it does really have an impact, I think. And that's where I think this is just dumb. And it is a problem, of course. But this is a point. This is why we have debates and argument to begin with. It's to prove a point, and this point has already been proven, so again, saying that your hero, Nigel Farage, how the fuck you call him a hero, I don't know, is not in the billionaire class, it's just fucking absurd. Especially when there's provable evidence, and literally the guy took fucking bribes from Russian billionaires for that matter. So, yeah, I don't understand where this comes from. How anyone could even think they can refute it. It could be that they're just not in the know of it, which I could sort of understand to an extent, but at the same time it's just incredibly stupid. And it's all good. Honestly, I don't agree with this shit. It's so fucking annoying. There's just no reason for this either. The fact they're in bed with like billionaire class is just ridiculous. There's unbelievable amounts of stupidity and danger. It's just absolutely nuts. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't really know what to add though, but that's the gist of it though. Yeah, it's annoying, but that seems to be the reality that we're in, for the most part. So yeah, let's move on. This is an interesting thing I thought about upon watching the Pokemon anime. They stream it on Twitch every Tuesday and Thursday, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to have in the background. Definitely a lot of funny moments in the older bits of the anime. I've noticed some less in further generations, except for Gen 7. But yeah. But I sort of want to explain how and even why a lot of adults even like Pokemon to begin with, because this is something I hear a lot. Because people criticise the fact that it's essentially a show made for, well, children, but it's also family friendly. And that's very much what makes it not for children in a sense. They look at a lot of the older sense of humour in the show, and it is very much designed for family watching rather than, well, kids, just as children. It sort of reminds me of, to an extent, when I used to watch TV shows with my younger siblings when I was a teenager. And yeah, we watched like Peppa Pig and I can't remember what else. There's one I really like, Lazy Town, that was it. And there's also like Spider-Man anime, which for some reason we had on. I think it was Netflix that was on. Yeah, good old Netflix back in the day. It replaced fucking Blockbuster, but oh well. Yeah, and that was the appeal really. I just find it fascinating that, yeah, that's a thing. They used to have, but family-friendly shows definitely have their place, even if you are an adult. And it's sort of like people watch Bluey. That's the thing, people watch Bluey now, even though that's definitely for, well, children. But they see it as a way of like healing to an extent. That's what I've heard anyway, in terms of arguing for that. Which is interesting. Yeah. Yes. But I wanted to talk about why it's not actually about fucking shows being like child friendly and all. It's not about that at all. And as I've explained sort of previously, I watched shows that weren't really appealing to me as a teenager, but actually I realised they're designed in a way that you can actually get enjoyment out of them. Even Peppa Pig to an extent was interesting in its own way. It's a bit stupid and, yeah, not really my sort of thing looking back on it, but at the same time it had decent content here and there, decent characters too. And it had a sense of humour here and there, if I'm not mistaken. So it wasn't the most awful thing, compared to others anyway. Dora the Explorer's like one of the worst, I think, in my opinion. It's just like, shut the fuck up already. Again, the appeal is like to teach children and stuff, and that's what a lot of these shows try to do. But where animes really separate themselves is they don't really care about educating children. It's more about being enjoyable, and that's what also makes it great. It should really go without saying, but that needs to be explained because people are not smart enough, it seems, to figure that out themselves. Yeah, and I just find it fascinating. Again, looking back at those shows and then looking at Pokemon, for example, which I didn't really enjoy growing up, believe it or not. Sort of like meh about it. Eventually I got towards it and thought, you know what, I do kind of like this, and yeah. It just doesn't surprise me. Yeah, it's very weird. So what else is there? I think. No, to explain Pokemon though, the thing with Pokemon is the appealing thing is the world itself. And this is one of the rare things actually that makes certain worlds and characters just so interesting and even just magical and inspiring too. It literally does that, and that's because they're designed in a way that they could be expanded on, or they could be informative with just anything really. It depends, but it does happen, and you do find these worlds every now and then. And to an extent, Sonic is a world that was sort of expanded upon slowly and merely not enough, because yeah, I have my own issues with it. But it had its niche, and that was the appeal of it. It's like a world of humanoid animals in a specific art style, which is again the appeal. And it has multiple characters based on different animals, which is something not really done before. Well, Mario took ages to get to that point, I think. And that's why it's so unique. Then you look at Pokemon, I shouldn't need to explain the rest, because it's already been explained. Pokemon is a fucking massive world, with so many different things going on, and so many different Pokemon. Like, the fact that Pokemon can even control the universe is a crazy concept in itself. And that'd have tons of exploration if it were actually explored. But that's the special bit about it. That's why it's so liked and adored. And it's not even just about that. It's about the fact that every Pokemon represents a type of animal or a mix of them. Look at Eevee and look at Arcanine. There's like a mix of different Pokemon, animals there. And they're just so relatable. That's the other point about it. And when a show is relatable, that becomes an almost instant favourite, because that's what happens when these things do things that are relatable. These shows, these whatever, anime, writing, gaming, becomes relatable, and then people can look at that and say, yeah, you know what, that actually reminds me of my pet dog or my pet universe dragon thingy. Wait, what? There was something like that. It's literally, that's the thing with it, and that's why I still stick with it. Even to this day, I feel like I still want to live in the Pokemon world, of all worlds out there. And I keep doing this at night when I'm trying to get to sleep. But I try to imagine myself in a relaxing situation. It used to be that I'll relax on the beach, but because of mental health and stuff, I prefer focusing on character stuff and, well, for this matter, Pokemon. And my dream thing in the Pokemon world would be to possibly be like a travel person, but also have a family of evolutions, like all of them. Yeah, that'd be my niche, and then I also expanded upon that recently, thinking like, what the fuck would I do out there? How would I earn Poké Dollars or something? and it came to me quickly that I'll not only be like a battle person, I have my own alternative team in that sense. I'd also have on my own live streams where I can also pay for these travels and also pay for the Pokemon. Leafeon doesn't need feeding apparently, because Leafeon gets it from the sun, which is another fascinating thing about Pokemon. They all have these niche things about them. It's a photosynthesis, that's why. Again, that's what makes it real fucking special. In the end, that's why it ends up mattering and why people care about it. That's what makes it so incredible. And yeah, like what else is there even to say? You know, think about my own sort of Pokemon team besides my evolution sort of caravan travel vlog stuff and streaming. You know, I could stream myself brushing the Pokemon. Like, why not? Let's say you could do. Also, just imagine us traveling the world and also visiting a lot of coastlines, because weirdly enough it ties into that beach thing. I do like beaches. I think they're fascinating. It's like mysterious mixed with landscape, and yeah, it's just a few things with that. Again, it all makes for such an interesting world and experience, where if you were to actually go through it in like a simulation, you would probably fucking fall in love with it. Because that's what it is, and even though Pokemon has its dark sides and stuff, it's unique because of these elements. And you compare that to something like, I mean, I don't know enough about this, but I saw bits of the game recently. I forgot what it's called actually. It's 2025 game. But Digimon. You know, Digimon seems like a darker world, and it seems a bit more sort of tense, and I just want to be in that. There's no familiarity. And as much as I like the idea of Digimon, it certainly has better content than Pokemon at this point. From the games anyway, against perspective. It just doesn't seem like a very nice world to live in all honesty. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, that's like the thing for me. So yeah, it does matter, of course, what we put our sights on and what we care about actually. This is why I'm quite a critic of the Pokemon games, it's because they become embarrassing. And that's why even with like the recent Pokemon wins and waves, I almost forgot the name of it for a second, I'm even considering doing what is it? Like playing it, possibly. But the other thing I also promised is if they release a good game, which Pokemon Winds and Waves might be, I'd rewatch the entire fucking anime again, even though this has again been in recent memory. Make notes of it so I know I've watched it. Reference all the funny moments and stuff. And yeah, they should be able to grab clips of it if I wanted to, and have memories of that. And that's only because Pokemon is a special thing. But I'm also just turned off Pokemon because of the problems it has. Anyway, I still like the Pokemon world, it should go without saying. It's probably one of the best worlds out there, in all honesty. In my opinion, anyway. Because there's not really many out there like it. Yeah, so I think I'll move on. So I'll try not to laugh at this fucking random mob in Final Fantasy. It's fucking transformed. This is the only one there. Fuck's sake. Yeah. Anyway, I think I better move on. That's too fucking funny. I can't stop laughing at that. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So, I had one of the weirdest dreams last night, but also one of the coolest. It's weird. Like, it sort of stems from something I believe for a while needs to happen. And at the same time, it's kind of enlightening as well. But there was another thing I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to remember it, but I can't remember. It's not related to this, so it's been bothering me all morning. So yeah. Anyway, this dream. I was having a dream about America, of all things. Not something I was thinking about yesterday at all, weirdly enough. Wasn't really anything about it, I don't think, anyway. Like, it's so weird. And I just remember thinking, like, what the hell? Why am I even dreaming about this? I don't even really like America that much, so what? It just doesn't make sense. But eventually, the dream sort of went on, and it became something very sort of interesting. I don't know how to describe it. But what I can describe it as, actually, because it had a name. It actually had a fucking name. Is the Angry Protest. Yeah. You could tell it's like a dreamlike thing, but even then it's fucking crazy. But the Angry Protests? Like, what the fuck? What are you on about? But no, basically these protests took place because everyone's fed up of everything happening in the world. The people are angry and they're unhappy, and then in these protests people have basically taken it upon themselves to oppose authority, which was one of the coolest fucking things I've seen in that. And not only that, it's non-violent as well. Like, even though there were like explosions for some reason, nobody was actually killed, and you just see these police officers just fucking falling over. Like, these SWAT teams as well. Like, they're bright and they're all falling over each other. It's fucking funny. But, oh my god, it was kind of cool. Because it is something that desperately needs to happen. And yeah, if there was a way to do that, honestly, I think it would have a big impact. But that's really about it, I think, for the dream, because there wasn't really anything else. It's just angry protests in headlines, and then this sort of drone footage of everything happening, and like people protesting against the police and stuff. And I could tell it's sort of American because of the layout of the streets and stuff. Weirdly enough, I remember that. And yeah, it just was very interesting. Again, something that feels like it desperately needs to happen. And people like, this is the thing, I've debated about this before, and I don't know if peaceful protest is the way to go anymore. Honestly, the way things are, it doesn't seem like a big deal for people to fucking go violent, because it sucks, but this is the world we're in. It's kill or be killed, essentially, and honestly, I'd rather not see the outcome where we get enslaved and essentially genocided, which currently ICE are doing, believe it or not. Actually, there was something that reminded me. Apparently, ICE now target transgender people, so people like me and people who are transitioning in the process. And it's just people they think are trans, which is just, it's just absolute nonsense. Again, there's no reason for this, and yet it just seems like they're trying to appease billionaires and billionaire wealth here, which is why they're getting paid so much anyway. And why else do you think they're fucking luring in people with the promise of lots of money at the cost of corruption? Because it's obviously funded by billionaires. Like, you're all corrupt if you go into that. Same with any sort of crime. It's just absolute insanity. And even then, that sort of ties into each other, doesn't it? The amount of crime you get from like a recent thing, like stealing Pokemon cards, to being paid by ICE and being able to pay for the Pokemon cards suddenly because scalpers have sold it for a high price that, you know, the obviously ICE payment would otherwise cover. So it's just a massive clusterfuck, and obviously it's not healthy. But this is a horrible world we live in at the moment. I wish it could be any other way, but yeah, I don't really see much happening or coming of this in a positive way. I'm sort of glad I had the dream because it's sort of interesting. Again, it's a dumb name, but it works, surprisingly. Like the angry protests. Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Anyway, I think I better move on. My bells are killing me again, so yeah. Alright, so I'll just finish the exclusive back gameplay. The Demon Slayer Swordsmith Village Arc. Sorry, I forgot the name. But yeah, honestly, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably the best one yet. It's very unexpected in some of the ways it's done, and it had the most good episodes in my opinion. There's one that I think was a bit sort of meh, and I think that was mainly to do with how the story was just dragged out for I call him like a blue hair guy, even though he's not got blue hair. He's like quite monotone guy, yeah, monotone. Because that's sort of his personality. But yeah, as for a season of an anime, it's good. I wouldn't say it's like it's the best one. I want to say it's the best one, but it does take a while to get there. 11 episodes, and you're often wondering when the fuck does she come in? Like, that's one of the things I was wondering for that entire thing. Like, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. And I was just disappointed with that. You know, it just felt very unplanned and not very well executed in my opinion. Even though she's a somewhat funny, decent character and has a great backstory. It's just, yeah, it didn't really sit right with me the way that they handled her in this episode. It did feel very off to me, just in my honest opinion. Yeah, that is very strange. And I don't really understand why they did her the way she is, whatever. God, I'm confused by this thing. For some reason, my Clip Studio Paint is being weird. I don't know what's happened there. It's like I've made a layer for animation and it's not done properly. That's weird. It's kind of like the same thing on the previous layer, but it's not. No idea what happened there. It's like the onion skin sort of bugged out or something. Sorry about that. Yeah, like, what else is there? Trying to think. Animation wise, it's definitely a step up. I think it's gotten better, especially when you see Tanjiro's little trick, because to be honest, he knows a new trick every fucking season. It's not a spoiler at that point. Yeah, and not much to say about him in that sense. But the reason for going to the Swordsmith Village arc, I mean, the arc is being entirely done. So you can talk about his sword. You know, talk to obviously the one who makes his sword. Just interesting. It's very Tanjiro. It's to be expected, to be fair. It's not really surprising. It's good reason, Tanjiro reason, the Tanjiro way. And yeah, there's some interesting bit with the beginning. I noticed the red-haired guy. I won't say where he was, but I noticed and I thought, Leonardo DiCaprio point. Yep, that's who I think it is. I think it is them. It's quite surprising. Did catch me off guard pretty much, I think, because I wasn't expecting that. For a while the demon stuff has been sort of, oh, we're evil, there we go. Now it's suddenly got so much more interesting now I see the upper ranks. I do feel like the other two were sort of, or 7 or whatever, well I guess fodder. I do like the design of the one on the vase, whatever you call it. He's fucking great. Gotta admit, he's really unique. And that's something I really liked about him. I just love the design and I love the personality as well. It's so interesting and yeah, it's creative. It's got that going for it, and that's why I really like it. Yeah, I think I fixed my animation. Yeah, what else is there? Trying to think. As I said, the animation gets better as it goes along, and did we get a reason for the masks? I can't remember, but if we haven't, that kind of sucks. Because I was kind of curious why they wear the masks, and there's an epic moment of funny moments. There's just funny moments throughout it all. You could expect that, really. It's got a decent sense of humour for the most part. I think the Hashirapa one got me with Monotone Guy. The way that fucking ended was so good. What else is there? I don't really take note of the music, to be fair. The music, the soundtrack wise, it's not my specialty. If I hear it, I hear it, and that's pretty much how it goes. But I don't really notice it most of the time. Intro music about the same, outro meh. I think the outro is as good this season in my opinion. Yeah, but I do miss Spinning Train with metal music. It's something very funny about that. So yeah, story wise, let's go with characters. Character wise, it's good. I think these are some of the better characters in my opinion. A bit more well written of both, actually. Because there is like great character development, there's some interesting bits with that. And also we meet, a certain character there, beginning with G. And he's quite interesting. I can't tell if he's one of quote unquote them, or if he's just, I don't know, it's just like a transformation thing he has part of his breathing techniques. I don't know, but I'm a bit unsure about him. It's good design, but again, not sure about that sort of aspect. It's sort of confusing and not well explained again. So you kind of wish there was a better explanation for that. What else is there? I think as far as characters go, that's about it, and get an update on moves on, and also another character who's got a very interesting secret as well. Again, it's just filled with secrets. You're not gonna not get spoilers with that, and you're not gonna get spoilers anyway, because I just said it's just a secret. But there are some interesting moments here and there for sure. And yeah, that's it for characters. But story-wise, I think it's about average for what this is going for in this anime. I don't think there's much to really talk about of it. It's not doing anything like, I don't know, Hunter x Hunter was doing, which was very brutal. God, especially the Chimera arc, that still gives me PTSD. Yeah, we'll see what's going for anyway in this season. Do you call it season, or do you just call it arc? It's hard to say because Netflix for some reason labels it by season, and I think they do put the arc in it, but and you get fans and apparently the Japanese version saying something different. So I don't know. I'm just going by season at this point and saying, okay, this is season whatever. Like Mugen Train was 2, the Entertainment District was 3. Yeah, that's part of it really. And then we got 4 here with Swordsmith arc. Yes, 4. And now we're going on to the Hashira training arc, which as I probably saw anyway in the end of the second one, I believe. Maybe. We all know who that's going to be. It's not fucking surprising. But the only thing I did miss about this season probably is the Inosuke and what was his name? Geketsu? Zenitsu, I think was his name. I did miss them. They're great characters, so entertaining. And also have plenty of secrets as well, it seems. But yeah, I did miss them this season because they weren't in it. Obviously, they won't really travel with Tanjiro to this place. I don't think they got no reason to, and I think it's too risky as well. Because the way that it's sort of executed is actually kind of clever. Because you're not allowed to see or smell where the Swordsmith village arc is, and neither is the one transporting the person, which is very interesting. And it sort of proves that there is something going on there. It's like a layer of other anonymity, or I don't know, like desperation. I don't know what it could be. It really depends, but there's something going on there, which I'm quite interested to know about. And I wonder how many other places do I like to do. Did they even cover up where the Hashira actually came from, like the HQ? Speaking of which, I just realised a critical sort of error in that. Why don't the demons just attack the HQ? Huh. Yeah, that's problemo. Huh. So, I found the biggest flaw in the anime. Maybe I'm not thinking about it enough. Maybe there's like more Hashira than Demon, and that's why, but Muzan looks powerful as fuck, so I don't even understand why he doesn't go unless it's the Master that scares him, that's why. The Master has a lot of secrets, it seems. That's something I've noticed. It's obviously something he's not sharing. And yeah. Anyway, as the story goes on, there's some great reveals and some interesting action as well. I do like the Lady Hashima sword, I can't remember their names. It's so difficult to remember their names when they're not actually repeated that much. It's always a bit frustrating, and the demons as well, the demon fights were quite interesting too. There's one I'd thought of might appear, and it did. So I was right on that. Yeah. Also the art was kind of interesting and staying. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else there is. That's not coming to mind. I think that's it for story in the end. It's a great reveal and a great sort of ending part as well. A great few reveals rather. Because you actually do get some lore in this. I've got that anime on my list, hang on, Fairy Tail. I just noticed it on the side for some reason. Yeah, it's on there. Because I heard about this a long time ago. I never got around to watching it, and kind of figured I might want to watch that at some point. As it sounds like fantasy, so as well. What else? Don't think there is anything else to talk about. It's just the anime. Yeah, in short, it's just good. I wouldn't rate it any higher or any lower. It's certainly worth watching if you're a fan of this, if you like what you see so far. Yeah. I guess that's about it. So, yeah, let's move on. I'm gonna make an outro for this card pass. It's gone on for more. That's fine, so yeah, fix this up. See you for another time.